Joe Burrow needs surgery. That and some more training camp stuff coming up on the Wincinnati Podcast.
Yes. Hello, world. We got a special show as always. TJ Houshmandzada, Jimmy Chase, Coach Jimmy Burrow.
How do you balance being a professional athlete and family obligation? These are top 5 Bengals of all time.
All time, man. Yeah. Shock the world.
Welcome to the Wincinnati Podcast. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, joined by my co-host, Zem. Zem, you had some stuff going on this weekend. What's up, bro?
We got a lot going on. I'm tired, fellas, but I'm very, very excited about the future of Houday. I feel like every time I go to Cincinnati, it's like, on some Shawn Michaels type stuff. It's like, and I'm sexy. I just feel good when I'm in the city. So, I had that vibe going the whole time, and it was good to come back to the Natty and turn up with the gang. So I'm in good spirits. I just got back. Well, a couple earlier today. So I'm good. I feel good.
Facts. What was the experience like? It was dope. You was feeling it?
Yeah, bro. So my dog Gary Owen had his birthday party. He did it with my man Joe Mixon, prime time. So did that, hung out with everybody, got a chance to meet Lyle Collins for the first time, talked to him for a second. Stanley Morgan was in the bit, like everybody was there, like that I could think of, like the Migos was there. If y'all go to my Twitter, posted all that stuff or whatever. I mean, it's everything that you would expect from this time right now to be a Bengals fan and to have everybody that's Jamar's Jamar, icy, unapologetic. Mixon is strong in that joint, drinking water. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything that I would expect from like our Bengals team right now. I just feel like everybody was turned up and they just don't disappoint. Like Tyler Boyd always coming in fresh as hell. T had the bucket on low and it was the frame. Like everybody was feeling good. I just feel like everything I described to everybody, like young, flashy, mature enough to handle it, like just handling their business. Like I just thought it was dope. Gary Owen was lit. That's the homie. If y'all haven't seen our Gary Owen interview, crazy. Even had me on the mic for a second. Like there was a lot going on, bro. Like it's some stuff I remember, some stuff I don't. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it was definitely lit, and it's always just, bro, it's so good to be back and then have people be like, bro, I like y'all show, all this stuff like that. So I think it's dope. Yeah, I took that for them.
What was dope is like Mixon always has his all-white party, right? But like the timing of it after the Bengals revealed the white helmets, right? And like everybody's talking about the weird white. We had the video drop today with the reveal, which we'll get to that later in the show. And we got a lot for you guys, but obviously we need to talk about Joe Burrow and the surgery that broke today about his appendix. We'll also talk about Mike Brown addressing the media, and we'll talk about Jessie Bates missing in action. All right, man. Rap Sheet almost gave me a heart attack earlier today with that tweet talking about Joe Burrow. It turns out, though, that the surgery is minor. We'll be having his appendix removed, essentially, a process that most people speculate will be a 2 to 3 week process. What are your thoughts on this? Because a lot of people are like, finally, Joey B is going to get a normal offseason. He's never had that for 2 years. And
that dude getting killed that said that tweet. I don't know if that guy at you and everything too.
Yeah,
he's getting. I don't. Whoever that is getting killed by, like, everybody saying, bro, you jinxed this for saying that. I do understand what he's saying. It is a normal all season for Joe Burrow in the grand scheme of things, based off of what we've gone through before. None of that has changed just because I feel like Joe Burrow he'll probably miss like a week of practice. Like I've known 2 people that have had their appendix removed, and in both times they told me that they were really sore, but they were back. My secretary was back in like a week and a half, and Joe Burrow got a very high tolerance for pain. Like I don't think he needs to be running or nothing crazy like that, but I think he'll physically be back, whether it's a walkthrough type scenario or whatever. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. You think it? Are you worried about that at all? Like, or how do you feel
For
about
me,
that?
not necessarily. I actually talked to my wife about it, and I'm not talking from any inside knowledge or insight, but she said like he probably has been in pain, and that's probably the reason why the procedure is being done. So, like you said, with him having that tolerance for pain, I don't want to add more to the legend that is Joe Burrow, but if he was having this pain during games and stuff and still playing through it, I think that it will help him maneuver around a lot better. I think, like you said, this dude's an athlete. This is a minor surgery for him. I think, like you said, it shouldn't be something that's going to sideline him or something like that or keep him out week one. So for me, I don't think that it's a major surgery at all. And I think we were talking before the show, and you were like, the Bengals aren't going to let Joe Burrow get hit anyway in practice whatsoever. I mean, he's the merchandise. So I don't see that being an issue going forward. I think he'll be fine as far as that goes. Got some comments here from a couple of the Who Dey fans. We appreciate you guys. If you are watching the show, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Please be sure to hit that like button. Jump in the chat. Let us know what you guys are thinking about. But there was also some comments made by the owner, Mike Brown. A lot of the time, we don't get to hear from him until it's the media luncheon that he usually does to kick things off. So we'll talk about the turtle soup next, coming up about the contracts that the Bengals had. So getting into that, he made it a priority, and I think said what everybody pretty much knows now is that, he's glad to have Joe Burrow, and the first focus for this team and this organization is extending Burrow. And for me, that makes perfect sense. I mean, we both talked about how much and how important it was to have Joe Burrow be the focal point of this team years ago when we talked about moving on from Andy Dalton, right? And this guy has already shown in year 2 that he's taking you to a Super Bowl. That is more than almost any quarterback in franchise history has been able to do with aside from a select few, right? So this is a kid that you've got to lock in. And when it comes to the rest of the team, I think it starts with Joe Burrow, and that's where the focus needs to be. What were your thoughts on him saying that?
I thought that, they make no mistake about it. Remember that time when I went to the stadium? I mean, remember the first time when I was like, bro, I saw him throw, and, and I was calling you, and I was, like they were treating them like you couldn't. It's very hard. I don't know if people notice, like it's very hard to make Joe Burrow accessible to you or even see him or find him or anything like that. Like the Bengals take a really good job. It's a very high priority of making him the number one priority in the building. And I think Mike Brown coming out and saying that, I know that, it's so crazy how Mike Brown, I feel like, is getting a transition of the court of public opinion right in front of our eyes. Like, I think people are starting to understand a little bit more. So perspectives, we could talk about the past all we want. We could talk about currently what's happening. We could talk about consecutive successful all seasons. We could talk about, I just was looking at a tweet of how good that 2020 draft was, and like all these different things that have happened that are snowballing in the right direction. Sure. I just don't think it's any secret that Mike Brown said that, and he made it known. And I love this transparency. I love this thoughts on how he felt about him as it relates to Bates and everything.
Yeah. So speaking of those, we're gonna go ahead and play a clip of what Mike Brown had to say. So let's go ahead and get that queued up.
Well, as you can guess, it has occurred to us that this is coming, and that's part of the reason why we're doing the things that you see us doing. We're trying to prepare to find a way to keep Joe here and keep Chase here and keep Higgins here and keep Boyd here, for example. It's going to be a real challenge for us. And I sort of like how Mahomes said he doesn't care about what those guys are getting. He's set for life with what he's got. And why isn't that a good way to look at it, I'm thinking.
All right, yeah, like that's Mike Brown definitely spitting as Zim had tweeted out there. What were your thoughts on?
I was just looking at that caption. I don't even remember writing that caption. Mike Brown spit.
Mikey was spitting, for sure.
Mike was going bar for bar with all his ops right there talking to y'all. So I think it's good, sometimes saying less, unlike me, I talk too much, right? Like he doesn't talk often, but the points that he hit on, as long as you're not dodging the overall points, I think the great thing about watching his quotes or when he talks is that he hits on all the necessary points, and he talks about them in pretty good detail where he's not dodging it, so you don't walk away thinking like I just wasted time like listening to it. So I just thought it was dope. It was what we've all as fans knew. I've been very honest with our opposition like online or whatever, and I'll be like, look, this is a small market team at the end of the day, and they gotta generate enough revenue to pay these guys this guaranteed money and use the cash spent and have that money for different things. As it pertains to guaranteed contracts. And Mike Brown just let y'all know, like, sure, we are going to partner up with Swift Meats. We are going to partner up and go get it. Yeah, this Swift Meats should sponsor me, actually, but that's a whole nother story. Ask my wife. So the other thing I was going to say is just like they have to get creative with it. You have to make sure that if y'all really think Jessie Bates is a big talking point, can you imagine if Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, or Jamar Chase were on the brink of a contract holdout or something like that? We'll be like the laughing stock of the NFL, and everybody would be very, very upset. Somebody posed that to me earlier then. It was like, well, I mean, if you lost T, I'm like, our fan base would be destroyed. So if y'all really thinking about like, what is the core to you? What's the core to you? Jessie Bates is a part of that core, like as we remember with Aditi. So to say that that's not a big blow, I think is somebody's not being truthful. I think Jessie Bates will play this season, but I think Mike Brown put it into perspective. Like you got to allocate the funds to the biggest core portion of this whole computer mainframe that we can if you want to keep this thing going.
Yeah, I think it just shows that Mike Brown is one of us. I think even if you were a Madden GM or just a GM, in your dreams for the Bengals, I think you would look at it and say the priority is Burrow, right? Like that's who's going to get the most of the money. That's who's going to have the lion's share probably of the salary cap. Like that's priority number one. And then he also talked about the receivers, right? T is coming up. That job has to get done. He also kind of hinted at Logan Wilson and some of those other players. Like there's a lot of money that has to go into these players. You could speculate. I think, like Zim said, Jonah Williams is another one. But these guys are guys that are priorities too. They'd love to get Jessie Bates done. As a matter of fact, we have a clip of Mike Brown talking about that situation with Jessie Bates.
Fits with us. We were 2 years and trying to extend him, and we weren't able to get there. I regret that we didn't, but we will have another chance at the end of the season. Maybe it'll happen then. Keep in mind that we have a lot going on. We're trying to get ready for our cap as we go down the line, and we're going to need room for our quarterback, for our receivers, and for some other people who are going to want to get paid at the top level too. It's not easy to fit all these in. And one thing, I expect Jessie to be here and play for us this year. That'll be something that we look forward to.
Doesn't sound like a guy that you're getting ready to trade.
Let me say that. I want to say this too. There's going to be a hot take, Wincinnati exclusive. I did speak to one defensive player, and I forgot. I should have said this at the beginning. And somebody, and I didn't ask him. Someone else asked him, and I was like in a round, kind of like we're just chilling, sitting around on a couch or something like that. This is after the party. Somebody asked him about Bates, and this defensive player on our team said that, man, bro, like he with us. And earlier that night, he was with them or whatever. So, or the day before or something. So I think it's one of those things where, from a financial standpoint, it doesn't make sense. I've been told for him to go out there right now or sign it and then take the penalties. If you're going to do it, you sign like week 1, because currently right now you're not under contract. So, you don't want to risk like injury from this point now to week 1. So that's the way that has been explained to me. And that's directly from someone on a team that felt very confident that he would be able to, that they think he'll be on the team. And if you listen to Lou Anarumo as well and Mike Brown, it doesn't sound like if, it just sounds like when.
Yeah, I think it's probably a situation where you don't want to get hurt in camp or anything like that. So if you're worried about that, why show up now at this point? I think, like you said, he ends up playing the season. I think everybody pretty much feels like he would play the season out for that last moment. But another big topic that was finally able to
real quick about that. Let me ask you this. I'm sorry, Ace. Let me ask you this. What did you feel about him saying to Tyler, like him putting Tyler Boyd in the wide receiver part?
I mean, Tyler Boyd, I feel like his contract is still there. I think that it just means that the sum of all three together is important. A lot of people might go with one Migo or two Migos. I go with all three because I feel like the sum of them together is just greater than them apart from themselves. And I think like Tyler to me is a guy, I think maybe, I don't want to speak for Mike Brown or for the Bengals, maybe that opens the door in the future when Tyler's contract is up, that they try to make a deal happen for him. It can't be crazy, but I think Tyler Boyd, like if they go out and they win a Super Bowl or something, right? Like I would think Tyler Boyd will want to come back to have a chance at another one or another couple. If that's
I think it's the exact opposite. I feel like if he were to win a championship, he wouldn't feel like I have this unwritten story that or whatever. I think he'd be like, yeah, we got a championship there. Maybe he goes home to Pittsburgh or something. Like, let me not.
I'm not gonna say nah. I'm not gonna say nah, but I think when you get older in this league, we just saw Julio Jones go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, he doesn't have a ring, but I think some guys, like if you're putting your body on the line and all of that, you want to be in a situation where you're going for a championship. And I think like, yeah,
do you want to be the fourth guy? Do you want to be the fourth, fifth guy at that point? You're 29 years old. I just think that like, and I'm gonna tell you, just point,
you're kind of dichotomy around them, right? Like if you want to get a Hall of Fame resume together, like if you get 2 rings and you've done what you've done with Tyler Boyd in some years where the Bengals weren't super competitive, but you can leave your mark on this game. I think it just rises the amount of, marketing, deals, people remembering you, posts like NFL, like opportunities. I think like just look at Trent Dilfer. Like Trent Dilfer is whack as hell if we're being 100. But the only reason that he's like even talked about is because he got that Super Bowl ring. So I think like you got to weigh that part of it as an older kind of player in that position. Now, if Tyler was still super young, I would be like, nah, go get your money. Like, go ahead and get it. But he's already kind of had the money a little bit. And I think at that age, you getting close to 30. I just think probably be in a position to be like, let me try to get another one.
I think it's very different in this realm. Yeah, when I have been out with them or anything like that, Tyler Boyd is like the leader of them. Like they like he's the leader of like the Migos. Like if that's the situation that they want to go to or the club or whatever that night, like that's the guy that's going to pretty much like kind of call the shots, right? And I could see him still being that, but to watch him get older and be 29 and then they go draft his replacement and then you're like still, kind of like in a mentoring type role. He's too cool for like to me to be like, I think he'll be like, my time is up here at that point. And then this is the other thing. There's always going to be another team at that point at 29 that's going to be able, like if the Bengals are offering them I'm just throwing out a number, $4 to $6 million contract for the next 2 years, just like whatever, right? There's going to be a team that's going that the Jets of the world, like just a random team.
Sure. No, I agree.
But there's going to be a team that's going to offer him like 8 or 9, and at that point, if you already have a ring, I think it's the exact opposite. It's not about. It's like
it sounds good.
Let me go get this last big check that I could possibly make for my family.
That's true.
That's just me speculating.
That plays a factor. But what if you sign with the Texans and then you're 2 in whatever? Like sometimes, like the money isn't worth like the issues or the problems, and then they bring in another coach, and then you're getting cut from that team. And like, I mean, I get it though. Like, it is a last big payday and stuff like that. But if you were to go that route, you would want to go to like a competitor like the Chiefs or something like that versus like one of those teams that could throw you a bag.
Yeah, it's hard to speculate without knowing it. I'm gonna tell you a crazy thing that I think could happen though. Say Tyler Boyd go off for like 1,200 yards or something this upcoming season, 1,300 yards, like just something. It's not that crazy. He's done it before.
Yeah.
Right. And we know that Joe Burrow is going to throw for more yards. Say he does that in this season right here. The outcry for the Migos to stay together is going to go way higher than what people are currently like right now. It's cool. Like people, I think even in the comments will probably be like, yeah, at some point Tyler Boyd's got to go, as long as we let Tyler Boyd go off for like 1,200 yards or something like that. Then think about how people might be like, bro, the Bengals can't let that guy get away. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we're currently thinking, a lot of this stuff is changing. I'm really excited to watch the whole thing play out. I want them to go crazy just so that we just had this, conversation of like, what's the next move? What do they do?
Right. Nah, I'm with you. That would be very interesting to see how that plays out. Now, on a serious note, they also brought up Jackson Carman and his situation that happened off the field. If you're unaware of that, please check that out. But obviously, everybody was kind of waiting for that. The quote from Mike Brown is saying that incident was years ago. Back then, they were aware of it. And I would assume that that's during the draft process. The decision was there. Wasn't anything that should deter them from their research from going forward with them. So I know it was that question, like, did the Bengals really look into this? I mean, I would think that they did, especially based off of our conversation with running backs coach Kyle Caskey and him checking out Joe Mixon and going and speaking to people and things like that. I would assume that the Bengals did the same sort of thing, especially with those serious allegations, that they definitely did their research on it. Zen, what were your thoughts on Mike Brown and his comments on Jackson Carman?
I thought that the one thing, like I said, is transparency. I think it's very clear that people need to know. Yes, he brought up, that was years ago. And I hate the fact that they've been saying that and running with that. He was just saying that to describe, yes, we are aware of that happened. That happened years ago. A lot of people have been cutting that part off of it to suggest that he was like, oh, well, I mean, that was just years ago. Like, that's no big deal. He was just kind of getting everybody into the time frame of like, this didn't happen like last week. Yes, that happened, and that was years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's not like, what you say, it's like how you say it. I just think he was trying to give everybody that was listening, including the reporters, like a timeline of when they actually did their research and when that happened. Because I know some people thought it was like they took that quote a little bit off. I thought that him saying that he did his due diligence and he thought like nothing came of it and he felt comfortable enough talking about it was enough. I thought for him to speak on it. He's smart enough to know that if it was still like an ongoing case or something, he'd be like, yeah, we gotta let that play out or something like that. The fact that he's just saying like that was, like it was a while ago or whatever. We did our research, nothing came of it. And I think he was pretty much stating like that came to a head and like we're done with that, but you all are now getting this, the backside of the story, months, years, or whatever later, and the fan base, got more attention to it. But I guess in his mind, he's just like, yeah, we went through that, and yes, we were aware of that, and I just thought he was being transparent again. And if you feel comfortable with it, like that's a decision that you were going to see how it plays out too. But it doesn't seem like anything else is coming up from the situation.
Yeah,
some people question the report altogether.
Definitely agree. One of our favorite dentists in the Natty apparently can hoop as well. He's coming back He came in and played in the Smith League recently at Purcell Marion High School, was getting buckets, had his Jordan 3s on. Talk to us about Dr. Troy Pierce, man.
Dr. Troy, I'm very sorry. I was supposed to stop by there. I had so much crazy stuff happening, but I'm
sure his schedule was busy with him dropping people off in the Smith League.
They said he was dropping boys off and breaking ankles out there. So I bet your dentist doesn't cross people up. His son actually could ball too. So I just want to encourage everybody to go get a free consultation. Please make sure you reach out to the Pierce Dental Group. You can go to piercedentalgroup.com. Also follow him, Troy Pierce. It'll pop right up. We do promo for him all the time on our Twitter and stuff. So check that out. If you need a dentist, join Pierce Dental Group in Cincinnati, where confidence starts here. Get your smile together, and you can cheese all the way down to Paul Brown Stadium.
All right, man. Well, we had some other injury news come up with Alex Kappa and Lyle Collins. Alex Kappa is going to be, I believe, on the PUP list, and I think Lyle is going to be on the NFI or the non-football injury list with his back. I know you got to see Lyle. What were your thoughts on when you saw him at the party? Did he seem like he was going to be like an injury issue, or where everything looked good?
It looked fine to me. He was, he was in there. He looked fine. I don't know. I think
we saw a video today. Today is his birthday, so happy birthday to him.
I saw a video of him getting a cupcake.
In the video, they came, he walked up and got his cupcake.
I've seen him at the party or whatever. And he looked fine to me. He wasn't laboring or anything like that. So I thought that was cool.
Ryan said he blocked the hell out of that cupcake earlier today when the Bengals handed it to him. Cheeto was in the cut. It was a scary sight for sure. But yeah, I think this is just precautionary. They're just trying to make sure that these guys are just ready when the season goes. If there's no reason to expose them to kind of aggravate an injury or anything like that, I think that this is business as usual. But yeah, man, we got to tell our man to get down to the friends of the show, Midwest Best Barbecue. He still got to get some of those Uno wings. So we're gonna, and I think somebody definitely us and said Zim and Ace at random times during the day. Does the Uno Wings theme song just enter your mind? Yes, it enters my mind all the time for sure. So we'll go to that.
He looks like he could eat a lot of Uno wings, because I'm gonna tell you straight up, if y'all seen the picture of me and him, I posted on my Twitter. I'm not a small person. I'm 190. I'm 5'11", almost 6 feet tall. So he's not a small person. He made me look really small.
Yes, for sure. So we'll go to that classic song that's probably playing in your head as you watch us talk about this. The long-awaited Uno Wings from Midwest Best Barbecue.
Wings, and we got you with them Uno Wings. Uno Wings, they tell me that them Uno Wings will make you do the gritty. The Uno Wings will make you do the gritty. Uno Wings, come and get them Uno Wings, who they gonna beat them Uno Wings, and we got you with them Uno Wings, they tell me that the Uno Wings will make you do the gritty. The Uno Wings will make you do the gritty.
I'm just surprised that Zim didn't go to the DJ booth and put that on real quick and hit the gritty.
Hey, bro, that'd kick me out the party.
Shout out to Midwest Best Barbecue, 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. But speaking of things that were spicy, we finally got revealed this today that the Color Rush jerseys are going to be the white alternate jerseys to wear with the white Tiger helmets. For me, I'm gonna be real, man. Shout out to our man Seth on Twitter. I was sitting there and I was like, bro, how hasn't anybody made a comparison between the Color Rush and the all-white currents that we have side to side, so we can actually compare this? To me, it wasn't a huge surprise because the stipulations of the rule are that it had to either be a throwback, it had to be a color rush, or, you know, they would have had to change the white and get rid of one of their alternates. So to me, it makes perfect sense. And a lot of people forget the whole reason that we wanted the white helmets in the first place was when they revealed this color rush years ago. It's crazy that it's been 5 to 6 years ago since they revealed this. But to me, bro, that's the perfect term. What are your thoughts on this? Because that Uno right there,
man, when they dropped them helmets on whatever morning that was, the first thing I noticed is that the orange V right there in the center. I said, bro, the color rush is just like that. Yeah. It makes perfect sense. Like it aligns perfectly like the stars or something. Like for me, that first game in Miami, white out the whole entire crowd, make this thing like a big, you know, like I feel like that's gonna be a big moment for everybody. And I think it's gonna be our college atmosphere that night. Much like that Thursday night.
That was the first team that they debuted it with. Remember that game? The color rush joint?
I do remember that game. That's the Geno Atkins ACL game.
Yeah, the Geno one. And then I remember the AJ Green one where he just killed the Dolphins. That was insane. He had like, 3 TDs at like halftime or something crazy like that.
Yes, sir.
It was crazy, but I
love it. I think it's the hardest. The color rush, not to be super critical on it, I don't think it's the perfect jersey or anything like that because I've been spoiled by my man Seth Reese, all his mocks and stuff like that. He's created so many different other ones I think that are like amazing. The Leaping Tiger on the shoulder one with the white, you know, is super crazy too. I don't want to take nothing away from this though. It is still the best uniform, the best combination in football, 100%. Like I'm just saying that just from a straight up clothes connoisseur, just looking at this, like that's hard. Like there's nobody's offering that in the league right now.
I love the color rush jerseys too because they're kind of like their own jersey. Like when you look at the style of the numbers, like it doesn't look like the old jersey or really the new jersey. Like it kind of was like its own kind of thing for a little bit. So I think I actually have a Joe Mixon color rush jersey. That's the one that I had. I actually wore that the first trip back to Cincy, I believe, for the home opener. Unfortunately, that was the one where the 49ers killed us all those years ago. But I'm excited to see the color rush. I'm excited to see the whiteout. Yeah, bro, it's going to be, I'm ready. I love the reveal that the Bengals social media team did with it, telling the story of the 3 Tigers. I want to see them definitely do that photo shoot that they did before with Tyler Boyd, Geno Atkins, and Carlos Dunlap. Would love to see that done again with maybe Uno, maybe the Migos.
They should do it with Chad, bro. They should do it. I want to see. I think they should have Amigos and then have Chad like figure out a way to integrate, like, you know, like I don't know. Because I heard Chad flew into town at one point, and I thought that was going to be part of the reveal of this and everything like that. I just think, like, much like he did the jersey reveal, I think he should be like a part of that too. I think it would be dope if they had Chad and our boy TJ there too. That I think that would be crazy too.
Maybe mixing it. I mean, the possibilities are endless. A lot of fans around the league that aren't even Bengals fans, a lot of them love the uniforms. They love the combo. So I think it's just dope, and I'm definitely ready to see these boys take the field with those on. It's going to be a whole lot of white this season. But just want to tease that we are going to be giving you guys nonstop coverage from the Wincinnati Podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you tap in with us, hit that subscribe button, and listen to wherever you get your podcast from, whether that's Spotify, whether that is on Apple, like whatever platform you listen to it. Please be sure to tap in with me and Zim. Zim, was there anything that you wanted to say before we get out of here, bro?
Nothing much, man. I feel really good about this. You know, this off season. I just want to pray for some good health for all our guys. Because if we come to regular season with all our guns and smoking, baby, I'm telling you right now, this thing is going so viral, so crazy. And you know, I talk to people every day, and they be like, "Why y'all so confident?" I'm like, "Bro, where are the holes at? You know, like the depth is there."
Nah, man, I've been hearing that everything went perfect. You know, all of our ops that we played last year were injured, and yeah, apparently everything went well.
We had the ball bounce our way. I guess they never saw the Chargers game. Guess they never saw the Jets game. I guess they never saw
injuries.
They never saw 2 muff punts.
was supposed to be a starter. I guess, Larry Ogunjobi, that's just nobody. Riley Reef just signed today for 10 to 12 million to start somewhere. I guess he wasn't a major loss either.
I said that
guess
same
those guys
thing too.
played in the playoffs, right?
Right. I said that same thing. I said, bro, this is how important this dude was. And he didn't even start in the Super Bowl. He didn't play in the playoffs at all. And y'all really think that, I don't know if y'all seen Brandon Thornton, who I really, really like a lot as far as offensive line play and reviews and stuff. He listed La'el Collins in his top 5 right tackles in football today. Yes, so that, it's so many different things that have added to this team. I think if they go and get a veteran left guard or something, a veteran guard, period, in that mold of a Riley Reef or something like that, maybe it's Spain. I don't know. I think that will be something
still out there, right?
He's still out there because you got to think if one person goes down or somebody gets cut or something, they probably Spain could get that call. So I thought Riley Reef would have
fans, but in the words of the great Jeezy, if it's taking too long to lock them up, bring it back. Bring them back to the Natty. Bring Spain game back. I'm with that.
Man, just give me something like that. I don't know if you've seen D4. 49ers, go look at their depth chart on their edge rushers and stuff. They got a lot of guys that are going to probably get released. They got a lot of bodies over there. So people think that this thing is over. It's not over yet. And then we saw the Julio and Brady thing earlier today too. The power of Joe Burrow for free agents is still there too. So if somebody's trying to latch on, pretty late or something like that, I gotta think that they're gonna be looking at the Bengals too. And Duke Tobin also said that Mock Turtle suit, if there's an impact player that can, have some impact on his roster, they are open to that. So don't think that this thing is over. They do have some funding to go get some guys. So I think a little bit of what they see in camp will give them a lot of information as well too. So we're really excited about that. I'm really excited to go over roster battles and stuff with you because at cornerback too, we got Cam Taylor-Britt about to battle it out with Eli. I know Lou Anarumo also said in Mock Turtle Soup yesterday that it's Eli Apple's job unless someone else outplays him. I'm here to tell y'all on 7-on-7, Cam Taylor-Britt is going to get a lot of steam. I don't know if you want to call me Zimstradamus or something like that. He's such a high energy player. When he gets a pick 6 or he makes a play, fans are going to have all eyes on that, and it's going to be a lot of pressure at CB2 on that matchup. And at some point, they're going to be saying, we want to see this guy. Based off of what I know about highlights and how you show him and stuff, watch what I tell you. This is happening. Cam Taylor-Britt is about to have a really good camp, and I'm excited to see it. And I think Eli can hold it down. The more and more we look into Eli, they talk trash about him online the other day. We had to run the numbers on him. He did work to Rashad Bateman. We were told that Eli Apple wasn't nothing. Lockdown Bateman in both games, who is now their number 1. So I'm like, what y'all think of Woozier about to do to Bateman? Now you don't got Eli. So there's so many different things that we can so many avenues we could take this to. But it's a great time to be a Who Dey fan. Joe Burrow, get well soon. Hold it down.
Yeah,
because we're going to hold it down for you over here. I'm going to talk my trash because I know, Joe, they're not going to allow you to talk it like I'm going to talk it.
That's for sure. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, share the podcast with whoever you can, and also check out the other shows. We got the Bengals Post. We got the 513 with Eric. We also had a new Wincy. So check out all of our shows. We appreciate it and appreciate you for tuning in to the Wincinnati Podcast.
Woo! Yes, sir. Hello, world. We got a special show as always. TJ Hushmanzada, Jimmy Chase, Coach Jimmy Burrow.
Time to be a Bengals
How do
fan.
you balance being a professional athlete and family obligation? These are top 5 Bengals of all time.
All time? Yeah. Shock the world.